Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where today we're going through yet another NFL Power Rankings after a very weird and wacky NFL Week 3. Some teams that we thought were off to good starts stumbled a bit. Some teams are showing some more true colors than what we thought they were going to be. And so it's very, very interesting seeing who rises and who falls in my power rankings this week. And so for right now, we have our 5 tiers as usual. We have Super Bowl, Division, Wild Card, Meh, and Bad. And let's go ahead and get started with the Arizona Cardinals to drop the first game of the season to the San Francisco 49ers. And I am putting them into the Meh tier as every one in their division is 2-1 or better. And they by far look like the weakest team. They couldn't beat a 49ers team that has struggled with injuries. They lost Nick Bosa for the whole year. And Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. looked very uninspired. The offense looks very uninspired as well. And so it's just hasn't been a great look for them to start the year. I think they got lucky in their first 2 wins. And now, not looking too great there in terms of their ability to compete in this division. I think all 3 other teams are a lot more impressive. Next up, Atlanta, dropping in the Meh as well. You cannot lose to the Carolina Panthers 30-0 and expect to stay in the wild card tier. Michael Penix Jr. looked awful. They had to bench him for Kirk Cousins to come in there. Defense couldn't stop a Panthers offense as mediocre. And their offense is going to do anything against a really, really bad Panthers defense. And so, not a great look there for the Falcons at all. So they're down there in the Meh tier. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who I am putting down a wildcard tier. Because this is the second time that they have played against a opponent that's supposed to be equal to them, like this time in Detroit. Again, like Buffalo, the offense miscues came back to bite them on Derrick Henry fumble especially, and the defense could not stop a good offense. That is the most concerning part. 2 times they've gone against good championship quality offenses, and both times the defense could not do anything to stop them. And so that is very concerning heading into this AFC, which is packed full of offense. And right now, I have them a wild card because they just haven't been that impressive. Even though Lamar himself has been very, very, very good. Everything else has not gone to plan so far. Baltimore now are 1-2 and not really looking like a contender right now. But who is looking like a contender is the Buffalo Bills, able to win their matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins. It was close for a bit, but they were able to pull away with a superior talent. So, Buffalo, right now, to me, they're one of the clear favorites in the AFC, so they're up there in Super Bowl. Moving up a little bit here, I'm going to put the Falcons down here too, is the Carolina Panthers. They had one of their most impressive games in a long time. Defense was able to shout out a Falcons offense that should be talented, and the offense was able to do enough to win. More enough 30 points. Bryce Young was solid and efficient, played really good. Ted McMillan has some great catches. They overall just played very well, and I'm very impressed with the Panthers there as well. So they're up there, got their first win of the year. And another team who got their first win of the year, Chicago. Going up here because for the first time in a long time, the Bears' offense looked really dang good. Now, it was against a really bad Cowboys defense, but Caleb Williams had his best game as a pro. Had everything working. Ben Johnson was dialing up all the right plays, and the Bears' defense was able to really shut down this Cowboys offense so far as that they benched Dak Prescott for Joe Milton. Now, it wasn't really Dak's fault that his offense could not do anything. He lost his best receiver right away, lost a starting guard. So, the Bears, really good. Really good performance for them. They still look like utter garbage their first 2 weeks, so that's why they're not in Meh tier yet. But for Bears fans, That is a very encouraging sign. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going down into the med tier. Yeah, that was pretty bad there, Cincinnati. You missed Joe Burrow yet? 48-10. The Vikings were able to score 2 defensive touchdowns against you guys. So, yeah, not great for your first matchup without Joe Burrow. So, you're down there in the med tier. So, yeah, not great. Next up is Cleveland, who is also moving up a bit here, moving them ahead of Chicago, because they were able to beat up the Green Bay Packers. They absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage on defense. Myles Garrett at defensive line for Cleveland absolutely wrecked the Packers' offensive line, and their offense did just enough to get the game-winning field goal to get a massive win. If their kicker just made a kick in week 1, they were 2-1 and in control of this division. But no, the Browns' defense is legit because the Packers were rolling over everybody to start the year. I mean, the offense, you still got to worry about them actually being good enough to win games, but if this defense can hold opponents to 10 points or 17 points like they did against the Bengals, like they did against the Packers, we're not talking about the Ravens right now, then this team can get more than 3 or 4 wins that we're expecting from them. So, yeah, very good performance for the Browns there. And what wasn't a good performance is Dallas. They did not look good at all. The defense, I think, is missing a Mr. Micah Parsons there, I think, as they had not been able to generate any pass rush at all. They gave up a ton of points to the Bears, who have struggled so far this season, mind you. And their offense couldn't do anything against a Bears defense that gave up 52 points against the Lions. So, yeah, not good at all for Dallas. They're down there in the bad tier. But who's not in the bad tier, actually, they're kind of going, I'm going to put them here in a wild card, even though they're at 1-2, because they lost a very close game to a team that is quickly proving to be a really good team in the LA Chargers, is the Broncos. I mean, their defenses play pretty solidly, but the offense has got to get it figured out. But they lost a very close game in a division opponent against the Chargers, who Justin Herbert looks really good, by the way. We'll get to him in a moment. But I'm not really concerned about them. I think they're going to be okay to go the rest of the year and make the playoffs, but probably not too much more after that. The offense has been really frustrating so far this year. They'll get it figured out. The defense is still played pretty solidly there, so the Broncos are in wild card. Staying in division tier, because I'm still judging them for the Packers game, is the Detroit Lions, and I think, actually no, they're going up here, is the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I think this offense is going to be okay without Ben Johnson. Back-to-back weeks of great offensive performances, this time against a really good Ravens team they were able to pull away with a Sonic and Knuckles combination of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Just a great performance to keep the momentum from the Bears game here. And so, yeah, they're moving up here because they beat a really good team of Baltimore. A little bit concerned about the defense. As I said, for another team, both times they played against a good offense, they've given up quite a bit of points against the Packers and the Ravens. But they were able to get the stop when needed to against Baltimore and able to seal the win there here. So good bounce back performance for the Lions. Packers, bad. No, I'm just kidding. They're not actually in bad tier, but that was a very bad loss. That is knocking you out of the Super Bowl tier for now in Green Bay. You cannot, after 2 back-to-back great wins against the Commanders and against the Lions, lay that big of an egg against the Cleveland Browns. I know their defense has been solid this year. You should be able to score more than 10 points against them and not give up 13 points in the final 5 minutes of a game to a Joe Flacco-led offense. I know the touchdown was not on the defense. That was on Jordan Love for making the boneheaded interception there. But it's just, yikes. Very bad loss. But every team has a stupid loss like this. It happens. And so I'm not going to ding them too heavily because those first 2 games were really good. They got a chance to bounce back against a really bad Cowboys team. So Green Bay, I think will be fine, but they need to be down a tier. As simple as that. Next up is the Houston Texans. What the heck is happening with the Texans? Because with the way their offense has been, I cannot put them anywhere other than bad tier right now because I have no faith in this offense at all. Offensive line is garbage. Team in general is just kind of bad. They lost to the Jaguars, who has been a turnover machine. They're averaging about 12 points a game on offense. Offensive line sucks. CJ Stroud does not play good at all. Defense is keeping them alive in games. But the offense has done nothing to help them out at all. And so they're 0-3, and they're already 3 games behind in their division. And so this team, who was people making a case to be a dark horse Super Bowl contender, is now one of the worst teams in football. And that's just the fact of it right now. But you know who's not one of the worst teams in football is the Colts. I mean, my goodness, they just keep winning games here. They scored 41 points against the Titans. Absolutely dominant victory. Second dominant victory of the year against a bad football team. And they just been playing well. Daniel Jones is playing very, very good football. The defense has been solid. Jonathan Taylor has been absolutely amazing. And it looks like their decision to start Jones over Richardson is paying off because I don't think they'll be 3-0 with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. So, Colts, great job to start the year so far. Who else is having a decent start is the Jaguars. Sitting at 2-1, I'm putting them here in the meh tier, but very high up in meh because I don't really believe in them as a serious team to make the playoffs. I mean, they beat the Panthers in week 1, and they beat a struggling Texas team, but they couldn't beat Jake Browning and the Bengals, who just got blown out. So, Jaguars, even though they're 2-1, I still don't see them as like a true playoff contender, but off to a better start than I was anticipating them to be. So, yeah, up there in meh. Next up is Kansas City, who I'm putting a wild card. I know it's like, oh, Kansas City is down another tier. It's because they didn't really look that great against the Giants. The only reason why they really won that game is because Russell Wilson does not have it anymore. He's lost the sauce. But, yeah, the offense is very concerning. It's not really a run game at all. It's literally just Patrick Mahomes trying to will this bunch of nobodies, basically, because even Kelsey has been struggling so far this year to win their first game against a bad Giants team in a very sloppy mess of a football game. And yeah, no, I got some serious questions about Kansas City. Now, do I think they're going to right the ship? Yes, I do, because they're Kansas City. So that's where they're at. Next up is the Chargers, who I have up in Super Bowl tier right now because of really Justin Herbert is playing his mind off right now. So playing the best football of his career so far. Quentin Johnson is learning how to catch, and this defense is playing very good as well. They have not let up more than 21 points so far this year. They are 3-0 in their division, which is key heading down the stretch to have that divisional wins already. And they have a couple of games up. They got played the Giants, Commanders, and Dolphins in their next 3 games. They could very easily be 5-1 or 6-0 here, and that is going to be huge, especially if the Chiefs continue to struggle like the way they are. So, very, very good start so far for the Chargers. Also been a solid start here so far for the Rams, who lost because of a blocked field goal return for touchdown by Philadelphia. Otherwise, they would have beaten the Eagles and probably deserved to beat the Eagles if the tush push was called correctly and other ticky-tack penalties went their right way. But yeah, no, the Rams are fine. They're a very good football team. Matt Stafford is playing well. Davante Adams has been a great addition to this offense. Yeah, the Rams are going to be fine, even though they have lost here in a game that they probably should have won, honestly. So, yeah, Rams, very good. Who's not good is the Raiders, sitting at 1-2. Yeah, I don't think Geno has it, guys. Geno has not been a great quarterback so far for the Raiders. The offensive line has not done anything to help Ashton Jeanty do anything on offense. I read a stat where 101% of his yards happen after contact because he's getting hit behind the line so often there. So yeah, the Raiders, not a good football team. Neither are the Miami Dolphins, although they showed a lot more life against the Bills on Thursday night than they have so far this year. They're still not a good football team. Mike McDaniel is basically a dead man walking as head coach of this team. Tua cannot throw the football at all anymore, really. He has been very, very bad. This contract looks very, very bad. It's just not a great situation. Tyreek Hill needs to go. They need to burn it all to the ground and start over with a new era of football here for Miami. But who's going up here in wild card tier? Minnesota. Very impressive game after that for a bounce back game against the Bengals after they lost big to the Falcons. Actually, Falcons are going to go up a bit more here. Like, they needed this. The defense was absolutely incredible. 2 defensive touchdowns? Yeah, that'll play. And the offense was, when they had the ball, moved very well. Carson Wentz was very solid in relief of J.J. McCarthy. So now the question is, will J.J. get his job back, or does he need some more time this season when he gets healthy? So Minnesota had a good game there. Who also had a solid game is the New England Patriots. Picked up their first win of the season. No, they didn't. They lost to the Steelers here. In a game they probably should have won. How much the Steelers tried to give the game away, but the Patriots kept fumbling it away. Yeah, not a great performance after trying to get some momentum against the Dolphins for you. And ended up losing to the Steelers. In the game they probably should have won, and they were able to hold on to football because the Steelers had 5 fumble recoveries. So yeah, not a great look for the Patriots here. I might have to move some of these teams around as well as I get down to it because we have too many teams in bad. Let's just go ahead and move these guys up. Yeah, that works. Next up, we got the Saints. I mean, they're 0-3. They don't look that good at all. I mean, the offense can try to do some things here, but the Seahawks absolutely blew them the heck out. 44-13. The defense had no resistance at all to what Seattle wanted to do on offense. Gave up a special teams touchdown. Safe to say the Saints are the worst team of football right now. Another really bad team of football is the New York Giants. I mean, Russell Wilson is cooked, officially. They're starting Jackson Dart moving forward. But I will say, they found something in Cam Scatterbo. Dude is a bowling ball of a human being. Runs tough, catches the ball well. He should be getting the start here over Tyrone Tracy here soon. And so it's going to be interesting to see if these 2 rookies in Dart and Scatterbo can do something here for the Giants. But yeah, I don't think it's going to save the head coach's job there. Also, the Jets. 0-3. Yeah, tried to get a comeback going against the Buccaneers, but lost on a game-winning field goal there. That sucks. It really does. There's 2 games here you had the chance to win but didn't. That just comes with being a young team trying to establish its identity under a new head coach. But it's a bit concerning for a defensive-minded head coach to be giving up 31 points a game with a defense who basically still has the same core of an excellent defense from 2 seasons ago. Yeah, that's not a great look so far on Aaron Glenn. So we'll see what happens in the future with the Jets, but 0-3, not the best start. Actually, I'm going to put the Texans over because their defense is at least competent. Next up is Philadelphia. Yeah, you should not have won that game. You deserve to lose that game. You have been getting a bit lucky so far this year, kind of a fluky start to the year because the officials cannot officiate your version of the tush push, but magically they can do it for everyone else. They won't call your false starts on you at all. Yeah, I mean, winning on a block kick 6, yeah, that's luck. That is luck. But good teams need to be lucky every once in a while. So, yes, Eagles are up there. Next up are the Steelers. What I'm putting here in the wild card tier, I mean, yeah, your defense finally showed up, which is good. Forced quite a bit of fumbles against the Patriots. but he still only won by 7 in a game you should have won by a lot more with how many turnovers you got. But Aaron Rodgers has looked solid so far as quarterback for you guys, which is about all that you could really ask for in terms of being with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's not causing too much drama right now, so that's good. Next up, Seattle, putting up here in wild card tier. Still got some questions. You know, it is a Sam Darnold-led team, and yeah, you scored 44 points, but it's against the Saints, the literal worst team in football. So I need to see a bit more of Darnold like I did with the Vikings last year, and you got to hope he doesn't collapse like he did like the Vikings last year, but overall, very good start so far to the season for you guys there, for Seattle. And San Francisco, I'm putting a bit low. I'm not a believer in San Fran right now. Even though they are 3-0, the injuries are just starting to pile up. I mean, Brock Purdy, he might come back this week. Still hurt. Still could get hurt. Ayuk is still out. They lost Nick Bosa for the year, which is a big part of their defense here. You never know when McCaffrey is going to explode his Achilles again. And so San Francisco, even though they're 3-0, very close win against a mediocre Cardinals team. Yeah, not the biggest believer in San Francisco right now. And also not the biggest believer in Tampa Bay either, but they have come back against some really good teams so far. They're 3-0. They've been able to beat the Texans, Falcons, and Buccaneers all on game-winning field goals. Which, yeah, that is, you know, talk about fluky. Tampa Bay has been fluky. But, I don't know, I just believe in their team a bit more in San Fran. One, because they are not always hurt. Although Mike Evans is out for a few weeks there. So, yeah. That's my opinion on Tampa Bay. Next up is Tennessee. I mean, this is just a team that is going to fire their head coach. Cam Ward is doing everything he can to make this team decent. I mean, they just scored 20 points this week, but yeah, the defense can't do anything. The offense looks confused, and Cam Ward is trying his best out there. And next up is Washington, up here in division tier. Absolutely dominated the Raiders this week. I mean, without Jaden Daniels, they put up almost over 40 points against Vegas. That's impressive. They're going to get Jaden Daniels back here this week, and they're going to be fine. So that's where we're at with the tier list. In Super Bowl tier, we got Buffalo, Detroit, LA Chargers, Philadelphia. Division is Green Bay, LA Rams, Indianapolis, Washington, Tampa Bay. Wild card, San Francisco, Seattle, Baltimore, Kansas City, Minnesota, Denver, Pittsburgh. Met is Jacksonville, Arizona, Cincinnati, Carolina, Cleveland, Chicago. Bad is Atlanta, Vegas, New England, Miami, Dallas, Houston, New York Jets, New York Giants, Tennessee, and New Orleans. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.